All right, let's dive right in. Welcome everyone, and a special welcome to Dave to this consultative audit explainer. Today we're basically putting on our expert consultant hats to solve a mystery. We're going to diagnose exactly why a brand new, incredibly expensive roofing website is utterly, completely invisible to people searching on Google. We'll be breaking down the hard data from Blaze Byte Media and some recent local search research to show you exactly how to fix those lost leads. So grab a notepad because we are getting right to work. So let's start by taking a look at Dave's incredibly frustrating situation. Just last year, Dave, who's a roofing contractor out in Ohio, dropped $3,000 on a shiny new website. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got a super clean logo, high-resolution photos of finished roofs, a perfectly functioning contact form. It is a gorgeous digital brochure. But as a lead generation tool, it is completely broken. Listen to this. When a massive storm ripped through his town last month, and literally every homeowner on his street was frantically searching for a roofing company near me, his phone stayed totally silent. Not a single ring.
But here is the real kicker. A competitor, located just 2 blocks away from Dave, a guy with a website that honestly looks way, way uglier, received 14 calls that exact same week. 14! This really just hits the nail on the head. Having a website and actually being found on Google are 2 completely different things. Most small businesses skip the local search fundamentals because they just assume, I built a website, that's enough. Well, it's not.
To really understand the urgency here, we have to look at the financials. Did you know that nearly half, 46% to be exact, of all Google searches carry local intent? If you aren't showing up in those top 3 local map pack spots, you are literally invisible at the exact moment a customer is ready to pull out their wallet. Let's do the math real quick. Let's say Dave's average roofing job is $8,000. Missing just 5 of those calls a month means he's losing 40 grand. That is nearly $500,000 a year walking straight to his competitors, simply because they nailed the local search fundamentals and Google actually trusts them more. Okay, so this is where we roll up our sleeves and start diagnosing the problem. When you break down exactly how Google decides who gets to the top of the local map rankings, the absolute heavy hitter is your Google business profile. It makes up a massive 32% of the equation. What surprises most business owners is that this profile carries roughly twice as much weight as your website's backlinks or even its content. If your profile hasn't been touched since, say, 2021, well, Google has 0 signals that you're active and relevant.
So the absolutely crucial first step is getting this foundational checklist dialed in. Dave, and anyone else listening, you need to claim and verify that profile today. And don't just use a generic tag like contractor, you want the specific roofing contractor category. Also, the photo game is huge here. If you add just 10 photos of your crew and your jobs, you can roughly double user engagement. Double! Plus, profiles with regular monthly updates appear in those top 3 map results about 3 times more often than inactive ones. These are massive, highly actionable wins that you can start on today. And that brings us to our next massive yet totally silent lead killer, NAP Inconsistency. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. Here's the problem. Let's say Dave is listed as Dave's Roofing LLC with an old phone number on one directory, but he's Dave's Roofing Co. with a new number on Yelp. When Google's algorithm sees those conflicting signals, it genuinely gets confused. And when Google gets confused, it plays it safe by rendering you invisible. Cleaning up this consistency across the web can lift local rankings by roughly 31%.
Now let's pivot back to the website itself. Dave's $3,000 site probably just has one super thin services page with a handful of bullet points. Honestly, that gives Google practically nothing to work with. To rank locally, you need dedicated pages for every single service you offer. Things like storm damage repair or flat roofing. And you need dedicated pages for every specific city you serve. You've got to provide genuine, useful content that answers a homeowner's questions before they even pick up the phone. Give the search engine a real reason to rank you.
And then there's the review factor. What is truly staggering here is the sheer volume difference reviews make. Reviews are not just digital high fives. They are a direct ranking signal, accounting for about 16% of your local pack position. Check this out. Businesses with 50 or more reviews generate up to 266% more leads compared to those with under 10. Dave needs to implement a simple system immediately, like text clients a review link within 24 hours of finishing a fresh roof. You've got to strike while customer satisfaction is at its absolute peak.
But wait, even with great content and a ton of reviews, you might still be invisible. Why? Silent technical blockers. You can't see these hidden traps just by looking at your beautiful homepage, but they are silently draining your wallet. If your site takes more than 3 seconds to load on a mobile phone, visitors are just going to bounce. If your robots.txt file is accidentally blocking Google, or if you haven't submitted an XML sitemap, you are literally locking the algorithm out of your site. This is exactly why a proper under-the-hood diagnostic audit is totally mandatory.
Speaking of technical fixes, let's talk about schema markup. Think of this as handing Google a highly detailed VIP name tag so it doesn't have to guess who you are or what you do. It's just a small piece of code added to your site that clearly dictates your business type, services, and service area in Google's native language. Adding local business and service schema helps qualify your site for rich snippets. You know those eye-catching star ratings right on the search results page? Yeah, those actively steal clicks away from your competitors, even if you actually rank a spot or two below them.
All right, let's fast forward a bit and project this into the future of search, because this is where Dave is completely unprotected right now. Homeowners are increasingly asking AI platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity for recommendations instead of just doing a standard Google search. But research shows that 32% of business information on AI platforms doesn't even match what's on Google. This is where AEO and GEO, Answer Engine and Generative Engine Optimization, come into play. It's the process of structuring your data so that these AI platforms actually trust your business enough to confidently recommend you to a homeowner.
So let's pull this all together with a quick diagnostic check you can do right now. If you realize your website only has 1 or 2 pages, or it loads incredibly slowly on your phone, or your business info is completely inconsistent across AI engines, well, don't panic. Actually, if you check even 2 of these boxes, you aren't just suffering from bad luck. You're suffering from a highly fixable, well-documented pattern. These are priority fixes that can take a site from completely invisible to a powerhouse lead generator.
So how does Dave actually get this done? He doesn't need generic advice. He needs a specialized battle plan. Blaze Byte Media maps out a really specific 90-day turnaround. Month 1 is all about that technical audit, the Google Business Profile optimization, and cleaning up that NAF consistency. Month 2 focuses on building those dedicated service pages, generating reviews, and getting that vital schema markup in place. Then, by month 3, it's about building local authority through backlink outreach and securing that AI setup so ChatGPT starts recommending him. It's a completely structured, fluff-free way to reclaim your visibility.
At the end of the day, Dave's roofing company didn't have a website problem. It had a visibility problem. And once those foundational issues were resolved, his phone started ringing again within weeks. So I'll leave you with this. Is your business invisible too? Are you losing high-paying jobs every single month to competitors whose work is honestly inferior simply because Google trusts them more? If you suspect you're buried in those local search results, stop guessing. It's time to get a clear, specialized audit of your own. And finally, step out of the shadows.